Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's going on?
We have a rabbit hole, and you kind of devised this one, and it's very profound. I love it. And it kind of incorporates a few different ideas.
I know. So my idea was, or the rabbit hole is, if you're about to lose your edge, do you get voted off or unalived? I'm talking about like if you're in the culture club.
You're in the culture
You know what
club.
I mean?
What causes you to like get unalived? I was thinking back to because you and I are old enough to remember when reality shows hit the scene.
Yeah, you kind of pointed this out, and this is really interesting.
You remember like back in 2006, they would have the reality shows, and I don't even remember what they were called, but they would have
Like
like there
Survivor.
was Survivor, but
Yeah.
then there was a lot of them that was like, okay, well, Bachelor, and then he's looking for his Bachelorette, and
Right.
they're like, they're gonna hook up.
I think that one's still on. Oh my God.
All these years later,
They were so popular.
that's like the people who are getting their 15th booster shot.
I
It's
know.
like, oh my God, you're still watching that?
They're still
Because
on.
it's like mental garbage to
Yeah.
watch that.
To-
It's really bad for your soul.
But you know what when you were kind of pointing out the idea that like a lot of this stuff that's happening is so reality show like, I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Well, like
was
think
the
about
were the reality shows predictive
they
programming
were. They
to
were
get
revealing the method.
to get us accustomed to the idea of living in this like televised life." You know what I mean?
Life is a reality show.
And you've pointed that out a few times. Like people seem to like act or feel like they're in a reality show. Like they have to film everything they do. They have to post everything. They're
Charlie Kirk just got voted off.
uh-huh.
That's what happened. He got voted off the reality show. Now,
So I
what
had the
what
idea.
happens? Well, hold on.
Okay.
This is the thing. What happens when you go like think back to 2005 or 2006 and you're watching a reality show?
Hmm.
And I remember I watched a couple of them because like, okay, whatever. They would have this like scene where everyone's gathered around the campfire
Right.
and they go,
Like in
Brad,
Survivor.
exactly. They go, Brad, some of the women have said that you should be voted off the island. And what we're going to give you an opportunity to do tonight, Brad, by the campfire here with everyone here, would like you to justify why you belong here on Pleasure Island and why you should not be voted off. And I think it kind of pertains to the controlled opposition podcasters, and this is why. Because
Hmm.
I gleaned a few of them over
Hmm.
the last weekend.
Hmm.
And what I notice is a lot of them are telling their backstories.
Yeah. Well, I was noticing that too.
So
Like
Candace is like going into her whole story.
suddenly they're all telling their backstories.
Nick
Like,
Fuentes is
yeah,
telling his whole
like
backstory.
where I came from, where I started, and how I
So they're
got here.
Brad at the campfire.
Uh-huh.
And what they're doing is saying, I deserve to not be voted off. Here's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's what their backstory is.
Yeah.
They're Brad trying to justify, don't vote me off.
Yeah, because I think, like the controlled opposition, like how we've talked about, they're all following a script and they have to be the voice, the alternate opinion, the alternate voice, because everybody can't have one opinion, or people would probably get a little suspicious
Well,
if
now wait a second.
everybody had one opinion.
I'm gonna let you talk, but I gotta say
Okay.
one more thing.
Okay.
The Protocols of Zion.
Mm-hmm.
The Protocols of Zion was a meeting by people from that country from 1948 back in 1905, just prior to the Russian Revolution, where they basically war gamed how they're going to take over Russia. And the very most important thing was controlling both sides of the narrative.
Right.
So, more important than controlling the pharmaceutical industry, more important than controlling the politicians, more important than controlling the schools, more important than basically controlling people's relative freedom, their food, anything. The most important thing even more important than controlling the military is controlling both sides of the narrative.
Right,
You have to control everyone's minds.
right,
Otherwise, you're not going to rule the country.
right.
So they put a lot of stock in controlled opposition.
Hmm.
This is not some willy nilly thing that they just kind of throw out there.
Yeah,
They've been practicing this for over 100 years. They've got it down to a science.
yeah, yeah. Well, and I think a big part of that is like what I was saying is that there's got to be two sides out there because people would naturally think that surely not everybody agrees with like this one side. So they have to put out
Yeah.
the alternate opinion too, but they've got to control that side.
Well, because
They
like
can't,
what Satan's doing is horrible. So no one's going to be like, this is great. So some people are going to be like the left, like you take a blue haired leftist, she is just going to do whatever the media tells her to do
right.
without any questions. But then you have to have people that are going, wait, I don't know. I don't think that's good. So what you have is controlled opposition that goes, yeah, 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 no, no, no. I agree with you exactly.
Hmm.
Totally.
But you got
But
to
here,
control them.
this is what I want you to think.
Hmm.
You're right, and here's the takeaway.
Yeah. So I think that has a lot to do with why, like we've talked about, how we're inorganically unpopular on like,
Yeah.
like we've tried, we've started like Instagram and stuff and been basically banned, and we've
Shadow shunned.
shadow shunned, shadow banned, and we've been, banned pretty much on YouTube. And you're always telling me like, why do some of these people have such a big following? Why are they allowed to say these things? But when we say them, we get like flagged and this and that. And I think that, like you're saying, they have certain ones that they allow to talk and they stay in the guidelines that they're given and allowed to talk
You
about.
can't have a million unique,
They
distinct
Yeah,
voices.
they can't have a million of us like smaller people
They
saying the
have to
same thing.
corral our side into you guys are under this influencer.
Yeah,
This is who
this is who
controls you.
you listen to. You don't listen to Butterfly and Firefly. Like,
No.
no, you because there's probably a million people that have these same opinions,
Yeah.
but they don't want people to think there's a million of us. They want people to think you're the only one, or
They
you're
want you thinking Trump is a clean bleeder.
yeah, and they want you to feel lonely and isolated and to feel like there's not very many people that think like this. And even when we do think like this and try to put out the word about these things, we're not allowed to say it, or
You guys are
we're not allowed
cringe.
to reach, we can't reach people.
It's kind of like the Rockefeller healthcare system. They go, these are alternative treatments,
Right.
you know.
So,
Or like Joe Rogan going, these people going down rabbit holes, they're just kind of like, they're doing
yeah,
a disservice to
to the
real
real rabbit
conspiracy
hole people.
theorists. Like,
Yeah.
you
So, so I kind of was like, I was kind of listening to some different things. Like, I was listening to Candace Owens, and she's been talking a lot about Charlie Kirk and Pastor Rob McCoy. And
yeah,
you and I know this guy.
I
Like,
met him.
yeah, I actually went to the church where he was a pastor several times, and I actually heard Charlie Kirk speak there because he had a lot of political stuff going on. And at the time, I thought it was cool because he was really like talking out against like the whole cooties fiasco, and so I thought it was cool. But I did always wonder like how does this pastor have such a huge following? Like at the time, I thought that was
He's not charming. He's not smart.
yeah, I thought that was interesting and weird. And he would get like these big time speakers, like he had Charlie Kirk and Del Bigtree, and he had like a lot of people who would come.
Judy Mikovits.
Yeah, they would come and speak at his church, and but now he's not there anymore. He, I guess, is the like I don't know what his title is, but he's like the religious leader or whatever of Turning Point.
And Turning Point is completely
Ironically,
funded by the Culture Club and it's controlled opposition.
yeah,
It's like a big controlled opposition think tank.
yeah, and ironically, his son is like some bigwig there too, like not the CEO, but some other big.
That's always what it
Yeah.
is.
So,
I met Rob McCoy because remember, we met doing protests against cooties on
mhm,
the street, right?
mhm.
Well, in the wake of that, a friend of mine started a group called Brave. Did you ever go to a Brave meeting?
Yeah.
So remember, Brave was like a consortium of restaurants that were refusing to close their doors in during COVID.
Right.
Because remember, COVID was like putting restaurants out of business.
Right.
They were saying you can't have your tables that close. The cooties is too bad. You
Yeah.
have to move them farther away.
Mm-hmm.
And then you might even have to have some people sitting outside and they have to play the game. When they walk in, they have to wear a mask, but when they sit down, they can take it off.
Right. So you can
So
eat.
you can eat. So what Pastor McCoy, he just kind of showed up and kind of hijacked it.
Oh.
And he was kind of acting like, oh yes, yes, but me.
Yeah. So
That's always kind of a telltale sign of the culture club is when somebody comes into a grassroots movement and goes, good, 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 now come here.
um anyway, this it's interesting that now he is not at that church that he kind of, I guess, started. And also, what I've seen a lot of recently is, you know how Charlie Kirk was always kind of like, his whole shtick was like going to these college campuses and arguing a point, debating a point with some kid that basically had no way, no argument. Like he would always win. Well, lately I've been seeing a bunch of videos.
The kid's like retarded and like basically is totally uninformed.
Yeah.
So it's not that hard to win a debate with somebody like that.
Right. So I've been seeing a bunch of videos recently that I don't think they're really trying to publicize too much, but they were Charlie Kirk doing the same thing, but these kids are just like
Stumping him.
stumping him where he can't even come up with any kind of argument, you know?
You know where I
And
saw that happen?
where?
Go ahead, finish your point.
So I don't know. I kind of got this idea like maybe he was kind of losing his edge, and
That's why he got
it
voted off.
probably like his contract was coming up. He can't be arguing college kids like late into his 30s, but also maybe he was kind of losing his edge. And so they had to vote him off the island, and
They're like,
whatever that
Brad,
means.
some people want to have you voted off the island.
Yeah, so either he's really dead, and I have my doubts about that, or he's somewhere else like Antarctica.
Epiphany. What if that was the reason he started talking about that country from 1948? Because he was starting to lose his edge. So he was going, I don't want to lose these debates. Now I'm starting to realize I need to start talking about that country from 1948.
Maybe.
And then they went, well, no.
Well, I mean, that could all be part of it. And then also,
Because now you got that one senator coming out and going, if you talk bad about that country from 1948, you get 5 years in jail.
yeah.
And that's how it is.
And then like with Pastor Rob McCoy, maybe his edge was, maybe his job was to build this congregation up to this huge level and become kind of nationally famous. And then, you know, before he could be like, people could start having doubts about him, because I think people are starting to question his motives. And I think when you're going to church and you know you get to know your pastor, if you start questioning their motives, you're gonna s- you're gonna maybe question that guy. And maybe what happened with him is, before people could get to that point where they might start questioning him,
He
he
moved on.
he moved on. Now,
Ooh, that's what you're saying. So he
yeah,
didn't get voted off the island, but Satan went, good, good, good. No, you didn't do anything wrong. I'm not mad. You're still evil.
you've done
You,
your job.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You still evil. So good, good, good. So now you're gonna go to Turning Point USA, which is our new kind of like think tank where we kind of just like spawn controlled opposition influencers.
Mhm.
And you're gonna be the religious aspect of that. So you're gonna be the wolf in sheep's clothing there,
Yeah,
acting like you're a Christian, but you really work for me. Good, good, good.
I think that could be it. And
What I was thinking of too is you know how you were saying they lose their edge?
yeah.
You know who I saw losing his edge? JD Vance.
Oh my gosh.
So this kid asked him a
He's
very good question the other day.
uh-huh.
This kid was smart. He was just a college kid, and I don't know how they let him up to the podium. He must, you know what I
Mm.
think he did? I think he did. I think he lied and he said he was going to ask one thing, but
Oh,
then he got
right.
to the podium and he spilled the beans. So he goes, I just want to know, I'm a Christian. Why do we have to keep giving billions of dollars to that country from 1948? And, you know, they don't believe what I believe. As a matter of fact, in that country from 1948, if you're a Christian, they kill you and spit on you and bully you and they treat you like crap. Is that good? And why are you guys still supporting that? And then he was like, well, he did kind of like a Peter Thiel.
Never
You
did.
whoa. And so, you know what I noticed in his answer? It was this watered down kind of fluff, but he never came out and said, oh, well, they rule me. They control me.
Well, they never really answer that question. They just evade it. You know what
That's
I
what he
mean?
did. And
Yeah.
it was not convincing. And the
Yeah.
kid was like, well, thanks, but you just kind of proved that you're exactly what I think you are. So I think that kind of pertains. JD Vance might be getting voted off because he's not very strong. And people can just smell that he's a puppet of 1948 country.
Totally. I think what they're trying to do though with like all these backstories is they're
Nick
trying.
Fuentes did that too.
Nick Fuentes, actually Candace Owens just did it. Uh, and even Peggy Hall.
Peggy
I
Hall.
don't know.
She's got a nice healthy following, which makes me
She
kind of wonder.
you were telling me that because I think she always seems legit and she calls out all
If
these
she
other
had
people.
110 views on every video, I'd be like, dude, she's the
She's
bomb.
got like 200,000 people
And then I'm going,
on YouTube. And
200,000 on YouTube?
when I told you that, you were like, "Wait a second.
Well, YouTube doesn't allow you to do
They
anything.
don't let you do anything."
YouTube gave us a fact check when I mentioned Bilderberg.
I
Remember, because
know.
we're like, Bilderberg was started by Satan in 1958. And they're like,
They're
excuse
like,
me.
"We looked into this and Satan was not the one working there at
No,
that
it
time."
was Satan's minions. We just want to make sure we clarify that.
But so yeah, so anyway, they're all coming up with their backstories, which I think is to legitimize themselves with their audience. And what I'm noticing now also is um the alternative media is now turning into the mainstream media. And I know so many people who tell me, "Oh, I don't watch the news anymore. I don't watch mainstream media," which we don't either. I listen to podcasts or I listen to this and that. And I think more and more people are starting to do that. And remember, I was telling you, like, it seems like
Hollywood
Hollywood
stars.
stars, like A-listers, are starting podcasts. Like Jason Bateman is like selling tickets at they're selling tickets to go to the Hollywood Bowl to listen to him do a
You know
podcast,
why?
which is
Because
so weird
this
to
is
me.
why. They probably looked at Joe Rogan and said, you know what?
I could do that.
Joe Rogan is so popular, and all he does is just people tune in to listen to nothing for 2.5 hours.
Yep,
I could talk about nothing for 2.5 hours.
that's what they're doing.
And now they got Charlie Sheen. I've noticed, dude, Charlie Sheen has gone on like, I'm not even joking, like 100 podcasts in the last 2 months.
Yeah, and how much? I mean, I'm sure he's making money doing that.
He's just going on podcast
Yeah.
after podcast. And when you have Charlie Sheen on, you're going to talk about nothing for 2 hours.
Well, and like I was telling you, remember like probably even 15 or 20 years ago, you never saw like A-list movie stars on commercials.
No.
Commercials were where supposedly actors like got their start. Like they might get on a commercial
Well, I don't know.
legitimately.
Remember Bill Cosby during the height of his career was doing Jello.
Oh, Jello, but yeah, but it wasn't a mainstream popular thing.
No, no, no.
It was usually like nobodies that were on commercials,
Yeah.
and like
Like if you were on a Rice Krispies commercial, you probably weren't a mainstream
yeah.
A-lister.
And then maybe like you ended up getting on like several commercials, and then maybe you got like they're like, "Oh, let's put her on a TV show." That kind of thing I think still maybe happened. But now it's like these big, huge Hollywood stars are on commercials all the time.
Well, I think there's
You know?
one aspect of that might be that Hollywood financially is collapsing.
Yeah.
I think that these people are coming out with movies that are just tanking.
Yeah.
What, like back in the 80s and 90s when they came out with a movie, like think Carlitos Way.
I know.
That movie is good. When that movie came out in 91 in the theater, it probably had a huge box office haul.
Probably.
But if Carlitos Way came out right now, it'd probably tank.
Probably.
It would probably make most of its money from like Netflix. And most people wouldn't probably watch that movie because that doesn't pertain.
It's too, I think you have to think too hard in some of those movies. You know what
I
I
don't
mean?
want that.
No.
These days, I don't like if you look at the big movies that come out now, it's all this Marvel Comics, Galaxy
Well, that's
stuff.
all kind of like sort of predictive programming too. You know what I
They
mean?
totally do that. See, what they like to do with those Marvel Comics things is dazzle you with special effects while they just completely social engineer you.
Totally. And I think with the commercials too, it's like, they think that if they get a big movie star selling Rice Krispies, then more people will be like, oh my God, Julia Roberts eats Rice Krispies. I'm going to eat it too. And not only that, like these big movie stars are like,
She comes out and goes, I haven't had a cookie in 40 years.
yeah,
Get out of my line of sight.
I don't actually eat the Rice Krispies, but I can pretend I do. But then, these people can work for like half a day and then make residuals for the next 5 years off the commercial. So it's like easy money. But I think like my point is there, I think like the alternate media is basically going to turn into like what everybody's listening to. And then it's not going to be real. It's already kind of getting to that point because you won't be going there for truth because all of those people will just be on script and talking about the same stuff that
Totally.
mainstream media wants you to hear.
Like you're not getting any real data from Candace Owens. What you're getting from Candace Owens is this is what I always thought about Candace Owens. I remember listening to her back in 2017 and stuff, and I was like, dude, I'm so much more all over it than her. Like I was making like because I had a do you remember Gab?
Hmm.
I had a Gab profile and I had like 10,000 followers on Gab
Wow.
because on Gab they didn't censor.
Right.
So I could come out and organically reach people with my pithy comments.
Yeah.
And that was cool.
Hmm.
But what I noticed was I was on Gab during that time and I was making all these gnarly observations about my reading on the tea leaves. And I would hear Candace Owens come out, and her takes were always my. This is what I called Candace Owens. The first time I ever commented on her, I called her Captain Obvious, because she's kind of Captain Obvious.
Same initials.
What? Oh, that's crazy. So she's CO, which is Candace Owens, Controlled Opposition, and Captain Obvious. Because that's what she does. She comes out and she says stuff, and you're just like, well, duh. I knew that like 15 years ago. And I think that's her job, is to come out kind of like Winston in 1984 and go, good, good, good. No, no, no. Yeah. And then you go, oh my God, she's talking about that country from 1948. Oh my gosh, she's making points that I've known for 15 years. But maybe that's not a good thing. Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe she's telling you crusty, stale stuff that's not really helping you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the whole thing is to keep people distracted and not looking at what's really going on, you know?
Like, is she really talking about how every person on the Hill has an APAC handler? Is she really talking about how the Federal Reserve is controlling us and making us debt slaves? She's not really delving into that stuff. She's more like, look at my lawsuit because of that one weird Jewish pastor. That's kind of like her conversations. And I noticed that Alex Jones does that too, because I listened to Alex Jones yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So I listened to the his Sunday Night Live,
Oh.
and he had this guy on there and they were delving into the weeds. Speaking of another guy who's about to get voted off the island, they were delving into the weeds with this whole Gash Patel, because Gash Patel has used the private jet of the FBI and he has gone to see his white girlfriend, even though the government is closed and you're not supposed to be using those planes. That is for the FBI. That is federal government money that is paying for that. But he is like, I don't care. I have white, you know what, to go have sex with. So he is getting voted off. So what I noticed is I listened to Alex and he had this dude on there and they delve into the weeds of all this intrigue, but they never just bring up glaring points of how that country from 1948 rules us where the rubber meets the road.
Well, but also the main thing is nobody's bringing up the points of how we're basically being corralled into a digital enslavement.
That's right.
I
Well,
mean,
Alex will
that's
talk about that, but Alex, this is how Alex kind of manages your takeaway. I heard him doing it. He was perfect controlled opposition last night. So he plays the clip of that senator coming out and saying, if you talk bad about that country from 1948, you get 5 years. And that's just all there is to it. So Alex is like playing that video and he's going, look, look, look. See, because what controlled opposition does first is they act like Winston. I agree with you. No, you're right. I agree with you. That's what they do. That's what controlled opposition does.
Mhm.
I agree with you here. Let me say stuff that you're totally going to agree with right now. So he comes out and he shows that video of that senator and he goes, See, that's wrong. You can't control people's freedom of speech. We have freedom of speech in this country. Of course. Yes, that's right. But then he goes, but look. I'm so tired of these people being obsessed with that country from 1948. We can talk about it in terms of foreign aid, but then let's talk about all the other problems. That's just,
Distraction.
yeah, that's only just a little part of the problem. No. That's 99.99999% of the problem. There is
It's
0.001 that's the other stuff.
with like people like him, it's truth, lies, truth,
But it's the lies are the important lies
right.
because what it's truth. Here's the important lie, which is your takeaway. And I was listening to the commercials. You notice how Alex Jones show will have like regular people calling in and go, "Oh my God, I tried the new Copper Flex, the supplement. Oh my God, I was blind, now I can see. I'm totally impotent, now I get hard. It's like awesome." So I was listening, and these people are drunk on the Kool-Aid with regards to the supplements.
Oh,
They go take that stuff like it's like
you wonder the supplements have mind control.
totally.
Oh my
Because the Alex Jones show fans
God.
are a cult.
Yeah.
They
They're just hired actors.
could be,
Yeah.
but I feel like maybe it's Scientology.
Yeah.
It's kind of a Scientology. I think they might be real people.
They're kind
They're actually drinking the Kool-Aid.
they're a lot like the Trump followers.
They are. They go,
You know?
oh my God, that's so true. And oh, by the way, I bought your products and dude, I couldn't breathe. Now I breathe.
And just because he said this that wasn't really cool, that he didn't really mean it like that.
I used to take his products.
Yeah.
And you know what I was thinking? I don't even take his products anymore because I'm thinking his products are Kool-Aid.
Hmm.
I don't, maybe my iodine levels are fine.
You were convinced otherwise.
Who knows what I took?
Yeah.
So,
It's water.
so anyhow, that was a really interesting point because I think we talk about controlled opposition a lot, but it's something that you kind of have to talk about a lot because if you're going
Yeah.
to be looking at situational awareness, it's kind of like the Battle of the Bulge. You got to kind of talk about the tanks
Yeah.
because they're kind of a big part of the battle.
Totally. Totally. You know who else I think kind of lost his edge and he got voted off? Elon Musk.
Elon, oh yeah, Elon, totally. Well, see, Elon, if you look at his arc, he was like, "Let me be on the show. Let me be on the
Let me be in
show,
the popular group. I want to be in the popular
please."
crowd. Yeah.
Like he would be like, if there was an episode of Survivor, his backstory was like, they interviewed Elon before he got to go on the show, and they said, "Elon, do you want to be on the reality show?" Yes, I'll do anything. I'll do anything, please.
And Satan's like, sign on this line.
Come here and sign here. I'm not promising you anything. He's like, oh, well, if I sign, do I get to be in the inner sanctum like Peter Thiel? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
But then he had like his 14th child, and they were like,
Satan goes, come here,
this guy is
Elon.
not really cool.
Elon, you're kind of not a good culture fit for the culture club because look at Peter Thiel. He has sex with like robots and men. You know,
Ew.
yeah. You don't hear about Peter Thiel having like 11 kids with 12 different women. It's like you're not behaving the way we want you to behave. Plus, you threw Bono under the bus, and he got mad. And Bono's one of our henchmen.
Bono's one of our henchmen.
That
Yeah.
Bono did good work in AIDS. He kept 99% of the money that was donated. So we like people who have no soul like him. So stop talking smack about Bono. So now he's kind of been moved to the back of the bus.
Yeah.
You notice, like he was like every day in like 6 different news stories.
Totally.
And Alex Jones was like full on his cheerleader.
Yeah.
But now Alex Jones doesn't even talk about it
No.
anymore. You know, it's he moved on. So he got voted off the island. And I think maybe you're right. Maybe he lost his edge. You know where he probably lost his edge is when he was in Doge.
Mm-hmm.
He probably started doing stuff like you know what he might have done? This is why he got voted off, Epiphany.
Okay.
He was probably doing Doge and he started like pointing out inefficient spending that Satan wanted to keep doing. And Satan was like, Elon, come here.
Let's keep that under wraps.
You're playing a role. You're not actually doing anything here. Don't be acting like you're actually trying to make this more efficient. I like our bloated bureaucracy. I'm Satan. I use our bloated bureaucracy to get all of our like pork put through, you know? So like we fund like transgender shrimp in Jordan. And that's why I like doing that. So you're going through and you're kind of pointing this stuff out. That wasn't your script. You're going off script. So I'm afraid you're not gonna get Peter Thiel um inner sanctum status now. You know, I'm gonna give it to Karen Bass. So you're gonna get voted into the back area now. He might even get like unalived
I wouldn't be
because
surprised.
he probably went and did Doge, and now he has like inner sanctum knowledge
Yeah.
that he can't
Well,
divulge.
so that's probably what happens to a lot of them. They probably do get inner sanctum knowledge, and then they're like, okay, now we gotta like unalive these people because you know what I mean?
He's
Like
like, you either have to
they'll
go
let
to
the
Epstein
cat out of the
Island,
bag.
you have to go to Epstein Island, and you have to have sex with a 12-year-old on camera, or we're gonna unalive you because we can't trust you just going around with that. Especially you have sex with all these random women. What if you spill the beans to one of them?
Yeah, could be dangerous for the culture
Yeah,
club.
I mean, these women, we don't control them. I don't know if you know who you're having sex with at this point.
Hmm.
Satan's kind of pissed off at Elon
Yeah.
because Elon's kind of, Elon kind of gets a little too big for his britches.
Oh
Like
yeah, he was like he was getting a big head.
that thing with Bono,
Hmm.
that Satan didn't sanction that. Satan goes, Elon, come here. Bono is one of my henchmen. Okay? You don't talk smack about Bono. Everybody knows he kept 99% of the AIDS charity money back in the early 2000s. Everybody knows that. So why even bringing that up? Just shut up, Elon. You're not supposed to be throwing Bono under the bus. What you're supposed to be doing is cobalt blue pilling the Trump base, you know? But you're kind of just like making it about you. It's not about you. It's about me. I'm Satan. So he kind of got voted off for that.
So here's a question that we keep coming back to, and I
Mhm.
think we're gonna prove this one way or another, one way or the other.
One way or another.
Can we become organically popular? Can we
We
organically be popular? Like, we're going to find out because we're not working for Satan and we're not part of the culture club. And we're, just doing it the natural way. Can we become popular organically?
I think what we need
Is
to
it
do,
possible?
well, I think in order to do it, you have to have situational awareness and you have to recognize that you are on alligator Alcatraz.
Hmm.
You are on alligator Alcatraz. And what do I mean by that? Freedom of speech is not real. We live in a prison and you're not allowed to talk. And you're not allowed to talk about that country from 1948 or how bad the cootie shots were or how bad Earth modification is. A
Hmm.
big lie. If you talk about those three things, you get shadow shunned. So you're on alligator Alcatraz. What we need to do is be aware that we are in a prison and the only way that we're going to break out is to be Clint Eastwood and escape from Alcatraz.
Yeah.
We're going to have to escape from our cell.
And we're going to find out if it's possible. And then
You cross those icy waters.
yeah, and then I guess we're going to basically maybe prove our point, um, or prove that we're wrong, which is all these people that have these huge followings, like, is it possible that any of them are just organically popular, or are they all controlled opposition?
I'm If I'm a betting man, I'm putting all my chips on option B.
Mm-hmm.
I've told you that. But
Yeah.
see, then again, I'm a bad person. I default to I trust no one. I assume the worst. No. I just go, you know what? Candace Owens loves Satan. She probably had sex with Satan.
God.
So that's how bad she is. Let her pleasantly surprise me with how good and virtuous she is.
Yeah.
Then I'll be the first person to, you know what? I got you wrong. You've proved me wrong.
I still hold out some hope that some of these people might be okay.
Like Peggy Hall.
Yeah, or even Candace, but you keep pointing out the facts of the going the other direction, and it kind of makes me lose hope. But I think
Well,
what's
look at Candace's story.
well, when we started looking at how all of these people were having a backstory just this week, they were all giving their backstory.
Candace is telling her
It was kind
backstory.
so that sort of starts to look to me like Mockingbird Media.
Yeah.
Remember the Mockingbird Media during the cooties and they all stuck to
Do
the
not
script?
take do not take any creative license. You speak verbatim these
You
words.
and they all of the newscasters were saying the exact same thing verbatim.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they were saying the exact same thing. So it's weird that now all these like alternative media people are all coming out with their backstory.
Satan had a
Like they have
meeting
to
with
prove
them.
themselves, you know?
Satan had a meeting with them and he goes, okay, so Butterfly and Firefly, I know it only says that they have 41 views on all their videos, but actually they're rippling through. So what they're doing is they're calling you controlled opposition. And you need to go out and in case any of your fans, of your followers might listen to them too, you need to offset that whole notion. You need to go let them know with your backstory that you're the real deal Holyfield.
Hmm.
And what's her story? This is so lame. She was hanging out with Charlie Kirk, listening to Kanye West. She talks about it. She goes, I listen to Kanye while I go jogging. I love his music. That right there makes me immediately go, you're in the culture club. Because if you like Kanye West music, you have mental problems and you have no soul. So therefore, you're already off to a bad start. And then she goes, and then Kanye texted and said, I love the way Candace Owens thinks. And she was like, then everything changed and we just blew up.
Mm.
And I'm going, that sounds like your culture club. Kanye West is culture club.
Yeah.
And Kanye West is saying he likes the way you think. And that's not a compliment. That's not good. If Kanye West said, I like the way that Firefly thinks, I would go and get like
Frontal lobotomy.
I'd get a lobotomy. I'd get a lobotomy. I'd be like, please clear my mind. So, anyways, that was part of her backstory, which made me go, "That's so lame." So Kanye West, you, she talks. Nick Fuentes was doing that too. Nick Fuentes was doing his
I
backstory,
think he's total controlled opposition.
and both of
He's so
them,
obvious.
Kanye was instrumental in both of their careers taking off.
Yeah, why?
Dude, I mean, Kanye West was on stage in 2007. I remember seeing it. It was like right when it came out, and he was like, "I sold my soul, and all I got is a Happy Meal." That was one of his lyrics from his songs. So he admits that he sold his soul.
Right.
So somebody who sold their soul, that'd be like saying, oh, Katy Perry launched my career. I'm a good person. No, Katy Perry's in the cult and a culture club. And if you got launched by them, then Satan goes, good, good, good. Good, good, good. Come here, Candace. Come here, Candace. You're CO. So you're controlled opposition, you're Candace Owens, and you're also, what's the other CO that you are?
Captain Obvious.
You're
Oh
Captain
my
Obvious. So you come out and you kind of just say stuff that like a fifth grader could probably figure out. Stuff that's been known for years and years. You just kind of say that. You always say, oh, that country from 1948. It's like, yeah, 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 good, good, good. Well, they took over in like 1963, so it's not really like that profound. Like, why don't you point out like something more specific, But it's fine. You just come out and you just kind of show everybody where they can play. That's what Candace Owens does. She goes, here, here, come play here. Remember do you remember elementary school?
hmm
When you went out into elementary school, when I was in elementary school, they had this new thing called stomper trucks, and you put a double A battery in it and you turn it on, and it was a little truck and it would drive.
Oh, cool.
And so we had a little section where it was all for stomper trucks. So we built all these tracks and built bridges and we built tunnels and stuff. And so at recess, we went out and we played in that sandbox with our stompers. That's what Candace Owens does. She goes, good, good, good. Go play with your stompers in this. But what if I take my stomper and I go over into the grass and I have it going through the clovers? Then she goes, excuse me, what are you doing? That is not on the playing field. You're thinking about different stuff. You're thinking about stuff that Satan doesn't allow me to acknowledge. It might be true, but Satan doesn't allow me to acknowledge that.
Well, I guess hopefully we'll find out these things because I think we're going to find out like if we're going to become organically popular, and that's going to be a big indication, I think. I really do think so.
Well, I think this is what I've always thought about us. We're Clint Eastwood on Escape from Alcatraz. And what happened when he escaped from Alcatraz? They had to close down Alcatraz.
Right.
Why?
Because somebody was able to escape it.
But why did that cause them to have to change it? Is because now other people see the way.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to show other people the way. You don't have to sell your soul.
No.
That's what we're going to prove.
Right.
See, Candace was like, well, I want to be famous. She probably wasn't evil and didn't love Satan, but she was like, I want to be famous at all costs. Same with Charlie Kirk, you can tell. When I
Yeah.
look at Charlie Kirk, I can
Yeah.
just tell that dude loves fame. He's kind of like Sean Penn.
Right.
Like I saw Sean Penn. Sean Penn makes a cameo in the Charlie Sheen documentary.
God.
So he comes out and he's like, well, the thing about Charlie is he can smoke a lot of crack and still get it up, which is pretty cool. And I was like, dude, that's a pithy comment
Oh
right there.
my God.
That's like his feedback.
And how does he know that?
He's like, I was
Has he
pretty,
been there?
I
You know what I
saw it.
mean? That's
I was
gross.
hanging out with him when, yeah. So that, but see, that's the thing. He's kind of like one of those guys where he just comes out and he's just like, yeah, no, see, Sean Penn loves his celebrity.
He loves himself.
Oh my God. And Eddie Vedder just like, oh, I did the soundtrack. Mm. And I think Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk, they kind of like that too. They're like, oh, such an influencer. Like Charlie Kirk probably, like when he introduces himself to people, he shows you how many followers he's got. You know, he's like, oh, by the way, nice to meet you. Here's who I am.
Oh my gosh. Well, I think we're gonna keep our edge.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, the way you lose your edge, how do you lose your edge? You lose your edge by being fake.
Yeah.
You lose your edge by trying to anticipate what
Selling
people
out
want.
and selling out.
Yeah. The one thing that you and I do is we're just honest and we say what's on our minds and we let the chips fall where they may.
Right.
I think Charlie Kirk was probably having meetings with Satan going, okay, your popularity is waning. You need to stop talking to these college students because they're kind of stumping you. They've asked you some questions and you actually got stumped by a 20-year-old that took a vaccine. So that's not good. It's not a good look. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to move you into a different capacity, which is probably going to be Antarctica.
Yeah. And maybe in like 5 years, he'll come back with a different look and like start a whole different script, and nobody will
I don't think
realize.
this dude got killed.
I don't either.
I think that was all fake.
Uh-huh.
Anytime there's a podium and a big group of people, that's a very controlled environment.
Right.
They could totally do like a full-on
And
like a play.
the way that the people reacted afterwards up there on the stage, like it was like there was no sense of urgency. And then like, where's the blood? And where were the paramedics? There's always
He's like
paramedics at
he's
it's
getting
like
like
carrying
loaded
them
into
to
an
an
SUV.
SUV. I mean, there's always paramedics
Surprised he didn't pop his head up
like Anne Hish. Yeah, that's
while
another
he's on
one.
the stretcher. It's like no 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 no. Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't closed the door yet.
No, I think the other thing too is his MK Ultra shooter.
Yeah,
That dude is a patsy.
totally.
And now they're able to use that dude with all of this intrigue, like, well, he's actually attached to China and
Oh, of
Israel.
course.
So all of that is real helpful for backstory,
Yeah.
But dude, nothing happened to that guy. That was all fake. And Charlie Kirk is now with Diddy, wherever Valhalla is. Valhalla is the witness protection
I
program.
think it's Antarctica.
I remember when I first watched it, I was like, dude, that's a real death. But now I'm starting to go, no, no. They've gotten really good at theater.
Well, yeah.
Really.
I mean,
Trump was a clean
we're
bleeder.
talking Hollywood.
Look at Trump.
Oh, yeah.
The Trump shooting was a completely controlled environment like that too.
Yeah.
It was like a podium with a bunch of walkers.
Uh-huh.
And then during the shooting, the one guy's all, like looking at his phone.
Yeah.
It's like, no, a bullet just landed by you here, and you're like moving towards it, like
With your looking
with
at
your phone.
Yeah.
There's
and like he was such a clean bleeder. Like no the shot just like pierces his ear and like there's blood on his shirt.
no blood on his collar. And now it's only been a little over a year since the shooting.
I think so.
So he's got no scarring.
No.
I watched him on his press conference yesterday. His ear looks fine. Like, so you get
Well,
shot in the ear.
Trump's not going to have a scarred ear.
No,
No, he's
he's a
not.
clean bleeder.
He's not going to allow that, even for like effect.
And
You know what I
then
mean?
it's just completely coincidence that he's able to just go fight, fight, fight,
Hmm.
and have that perfect shot with the lesbian like out of the way.
And the flag right behind him, and the Secret Service allows him to do that. They like she holds him like up so he can say that before they like rush him off.
And I've talked to Trump supporters who drink the Kool-Aid and they're just like, no, you don't understand. God intervened.
God saved him.
That was an angel.
Yeah.
I saw, like some of them even go so far as they go, no, 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 I saw the angel. Like if you slow it down, you can see the
Oh my
misty
God.
residual of an angel right there, just moving the bullet.
Oh my God.
Perfect. So, there's an ethos.
Yeah.
Trump's got a backstory too.
Yeah.
Trump, did you notice like he comes out with a book called The Art of the Deal?
Right.
That's his ethos.
Yeah.
His backstory is he's the Teflon Don.
Mm.
He gets casinos built in New Jersey when it was run by the mob. He can navigate those waters and nobody bullies him. That's his ethos. It's all scripts. It's all fake. And it's kind of like our last episode where people are watching the Dodger game and thinking it's real.
Mm-hmm.
People are watching this political intrigue and thinking that it's real and organic and that, there's real things going on.
So what's the white pill?
Kat Patel, what last one?
Oh, Cash Patel.
Kash Patel is another one who is about to get voted off. So when
Oh,
I
I think you're right.
when I listened to Alex Jones last night, you can tell because Alex Jones is kind of like he's in the culture club, and he's kind of like where you kind of go and get the weather report for the next week.
Mm-hmm.
So the weather report was chance of showers and Kash Patel being voted off because Kash Patel now it's coming out like so when they start divulging really embarrassing stuff about somebody, they're about to get voted off.
Yeah,
So
totally.
Satan goes, I'm throwing you under the bus, Cash. And he's like, but what did I do? He's like, well, you're just Cash, and I don't care about you. He's kind of like Karen Bass.
Yeah,
He's the expendable fall guy.
right.
So what he did was he came out and so he has botched the investigation into Charlie Kirk. That's the one thing he's done.
That's what they're saying.
They're saying that he's botched that. And then, but now also, what's weird is he's got opaque monies coming in from Shein, which is this clothing line in China. He got
Hmm.
5 million bucks from them.
Wow.
Why would you just get $5 million from a clothing line
That's
in
a
China?
lucrative little business he's got.
Right when you take over the FBI,
Hmm.
you just get $5 million. That's very, 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 very suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
And then now he's like, well, I've got a white girlfriend and I used the private jet that I was issued that belongs to the FBI. But unfortunately, the government is shut down. So I'm not supposed to be using it, but I still just took
Yeah.
liberties.
Some people think she's like a Mossad agent too.
She's probably a honeypot
Think
because he's
she's a
getting voted
honeypot
off. He's getting voted off.
because I don't think that I don't know, a young, beautiful 20 something woman is going to be so intrigued and
I
enthralled
love
by him.
I love Indian dudes with black circles around their eyes. I love Indian dudes with black circles around their eyes. They're so
So
hot.
hot.
And plus he's so corrupt and in bed with Satan. That's so hot.
So I think the white pill is that like it's kind of our ongoing theme. You just have to really keep your eyes on the prize. You got to realize what's really happening and they're trying to distract us from the end goal, which is digital enslavement. So we're not going
I
to
love that.
accept that, right?
And also, I think the white pill is situational awareness. We're on alligator Alcatraz, but we're going to escape.
Totally.
And then we're going to show everybody else how to escape.
Exactly.
I love it.
I love it too. Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.